Hey guys, Hal Jackie here, coming at you with another SimCity 4 video. So as you can see here, it's got a really big Simtropolis globe at the edge of a bridge complex here. This is a city that I've zoned and I'm all ready to develop. So I put this globe here because it fits in the super wide median, and it's like a nice little greeting to people entering this section of my mega region. If I actually go out this way, it's a very large bridge crossing. It kind of goes to like a different area of the region. This side of the city tile will not be developed at this point in time. I'll do that at a later point. But you can see in the map there's a huge channel here, and then this side got zoned and developed and all ready to go. So yeah, I just thought it was something fun to put here. It's kind of tacky, I know, but they actually have the Simtropolis logo at the top as well, so that's pretty cool. If anybody's curious, I can link it in the description, I guess, if I can remember. I know the Simtropolis thing should be pointed towards the cars coming in, but for me and everybody else, I thought I'd angle it that way. So yeah, another thing with this city, I have gone roundabout crazy. You'll see lots and lots of roundabouts in different areas of town. It's something I did just because I could. So add some like interesting little nooks and crannies you can like put things in. It's also a high density city for the most part. Yeah, you can see like the nooks and crannies here develop some good spots for like subway stations and bus stops. So looks like I actually forgot an area here. Forgot to zone this part. I'll do that right now. I'll clear the trees. It's a little hard to zone without just kind of zone that. I'll do high density here because it's close to the bullet train station. So I'll just do zone here. So what I'm doing here, by the way, if you're curious, is if you hold on to control, the control key, you can make a zone as big or as little as you like. So I like to hit control to try and make them like a 4x4 zone. That's usually the sweet spot, like in terms of having zones develop. You know what, while I'm at it, I'll make some industry over here too. Industry's nice because you can just kind of go like that, but obviously if you don't want the streets, you can stop and then start again. So yeah, pretty cool. I've got the soundtrack from The Sims playing if anybody's interested. The original Sims, #1. It's actually the only one I ever played. Have some Sims created on there too. Maybe I can import some in this game another time as well. But I'll do a little quick overview of this city before I press the play button. I know some people have pestered me in the past, like, oh, he doesn't press play until like 20 minutes into the video, so I'll be a little bit quicker. I know some people like to see it, some people don't. You'll see that there's a railway station here. I could probably put like a couple of other fun little bits here as well. And a bullet train station as well, just off the line. So if people want to do a quick transfer between the two modes of transportation, they can. I'll just add a couple of things here. I'm just putting some finishing touches on here before I press play, and then we'll get going. Maybe just throw a little bit of forest parks here. Maybe a couple over here too. Why not? And yeah, this is the main highway too. It hugs the coast for this city. I'll zoom out a bit. So like a kind of a funky trumpet-like interchange there. There's a three-way interchange here with the three-level stack piece right in the middle. I think it's my second time using that particular configuration. It creates like a really wide median if you want the smooth curves and the straight diagonal spots. No, straight and diagonal. That's how it does it. Kind of got a little interesting here with the railway super close, so I had to kind of slope it to go over and then back down. Makes it kind of fun. So there's like a bit of an industrial area over here. And then as we move closer to the city center, I've plopped a few buildings here. Just a few landmarks. I'll let the rest of the city kind of develop as it's needed. Another multimodal station over here, just because the lines are close together. Really cool rail network here too. At least I thought, is I wanted to find a way to get this railway here to this railway here, and I ended up building like this giant loop thing. You can see, and just kind of zone some industrial in the middle. So like this is really, really, really long curve, and the other connections are kind of swapped in here too. So you can do all that, and it's all done with the smooth curves for the railway. more and more roundabouts over here. And then you'll see the kind of like the parting of the waters over here, except it's not water. The railway track goes diagonal this way, and the freeway goes diagonal the other way. Kind of made like a nice big long bridge here for everything. You can see another bullet train station, park, roundabouts, some libraries, some funky things. I think this is actually a hotel. People are curious. I know I'm not doing the live stream. They can't ask me in the comments what it is, but this is called Yoke Sky Hotel. And this is the main library. I think John Custom Building. You can just do like a quick search in Centropolis for some of those things. That's just the regular art museum and stuff. So yeah, just some areas where I thought things looked kind of cool. This is kind of the main kind of CBD area. Plopped a few things in. Nice little central park. Another multimodal station. Put in a couple of pedestrian malls here, just so that they can all connect with pedestrian use. You don't have to take a car or a bus to get between the two. Things get pretty dense. And then this is at the edge of a hill, so it starts to get kind of hilly. So I left that a little bare off that way. And then just along the diagonal edge, more roundabouts. I had some fun with some grids and zoning here, so I plopped a few buildings and zoned the rest to kind of fill in the nooks and crannies. Some of them are actually diagonal facing, which is cool. I don't get a lot of use out of those buildings, so that's a good spot for it. Ferry terminal over here. Sims love using ferries. Got a diagonal, kind of a cool looking diagonal interchange here, so to exit, you kind of have to go onto this road and then turn onto this road, but just kind of made it kind of fun. And then here, it's another fun use of some of those interesting avenue intersections that you can put in, along with some additional slip lanes and transitions. So, kind of creates like a sort of a loop. It's more of a corner thing, but just kind of a fun way to get in, because I couldn't make this go straight and intersect because the bullet train line's there. So, these restrictions, when you put in restrictions in your town, it creates an opportunity for you to make some more unique designs and things start looking a little different. So, like this rail line up here, right? Just having this close to the highway, made me try and be a little bit more creative, right? Like I pushed it over a little bit with fractional angle to fit in this connecting ramp. I went over it with this one connecting ramp here. So, yeah, just try to keep things fresh by doing that. This is actually, it's flooded right now. If you wanted to access the stock marina, it's actually, you're going to have to wear some high boots to make sure that you're not getting waterlogged as you get into your boot, or just go for a swim. So we'll move into the main, just outside the city center here, another little rail junction at the edge of the hills. Some zoned area here. This is kind of like the rich person part of town. Diagonal underpass here too, something I don't get to use a whole lot. That's been used there. And some more funky roundabouts. Lots and lots of roundabouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 just in this one little shot here. And that creates all these weird anti-grid sections, right? Like, you can make all those little branches and stuff. It's kind of fun. You can put in one more if you want. Kind of like do that, right? You can put a roundabout here and go there, and you could even do that, right? There's a little bit of everything. So, have a diagonal intersection here. This is really like the only true intersection in this whole area of town, like a standard one that I could put in turn lanes. Golf course at the edge. I don't know. I call this like a worship area. I don't know. It's just a place to put in that Triforce thing. Altar of the Triforce, if anybody's curious. It's kind of cool. I did actually complete the newest Zelda, what was it called? Tears of the Kingdom, relatively recently. I still like Breath of the Wild better, but it was a cool use of the same terrain to do something different, kind of like what Majora's Mask did. And then the highway just heads out of town here, so yeah, it really does hug the coast. Kept things kind of natural over here. Probably added a few more trees here. This is the God mode and Mare mode tool. It's also very, very, very useful. And yeah, that's about it. So because a lot of this city is high density, we might push close to 1 million people in this town, if not several hundreds of thousands. So we'll give that a quick try. I will load up a few other things for you before we go, because I know we're already like, what, 10 minutes or something in? Just so you can see some of the data views. Obviously, traffic's going to be really nice for now, but that's the structure of everything right now. I think I got my tax rates all good. Keep things kind of cheap for now. Just kind of beef up a couple of things and do some ordinances. I forgot to do these, so you should just check off a whole bunch of these just to spur some development. Because you don't want too much garbage and things. This is just like some radical ordinances that I have. Let's not do any transit strategies. Let's really not going to do anything. Cool. Alright, so let's find a spot. Some of these things will actually build. There's some plops that I put down that build normally. But yeah, we'll press play. We'll press play. Let's see what happens. Just another blank tile here. Just get that in there. And for people complaining about the FPS, it's going to go to shit. Just like anybody else, when you go from pause to cheetah on a fully zoned city that hasn't had the pause button used before, it's going to go, it's going to take a lot of time. So frame rates just, with the 4 gigs and everything that it can use, it just takes a little bit of time, but you can see some construction here. I'll be taking some screenshots as well. I'd like to showcase them on Reddit and some other threads on some Dropless and whatnot. Pretty fun. You can just see all the round. I just had a lot of fun making the roundabouts. It kind of forms like a diagonal grid a little bit here, right? A little bit, and some of the others are triangular and whatnot. I've already got a brown box. I have like 10 gigs of plugins now, and I still can't get some of these. I've downloaded so many dependencies and stuff. Marble Arch Tower does not want to build properly. Yeah. It's just another day in the life of trying to build with all kinds of mods. And I mean, I've been compiling mods now for almost 20 years. I think I started in 05. Long time at this game. Still like it though. With all the with all the controversy with SimCity or the new Skylines Ministry, that's what I can't figure out. It's when I can't find Ministry in my plugins, and I can't find a download that has it. I should just basically download anything that says Ministry. Just for some context as well, the only city that's developed around this town is to the south. There is, I think, a little bit of agricultural development in the city to the east, but to the north and the west, there'll be nothing. So I don't really expect any traffic to use this freeway here for now, or rail line. Unless it's like, you know, freight trains or whatever. Commercial is always usually the first zones to develop as well. Residential comes in a bit once the simulation runs for a little while. But you still get some development, like these are residentials that are building, so. I just say on average, that's what happens. I can even use the 3D camera mod. If you want to see some construction here. As long as I don't crash the game, I'm scared. But I can go camera. Yeah. I don't know, 14, sure. And camera pitch. Let's also do 14, why not? So you can see, like, construction on this angle. Let's take a quick screenshot. I might want to save the game very soon here. I'm just scared. Some of these things are so jagged. I'm still haven't gotten over just how some of these things look. These Zots will probably fix themselves up a little bit later on, but pretty cool stuff. And then if you ever wanted to reset, all you got to do is just type in the camera pitch. You don't need to specify a number, and that'll fix up. Oh, it looks like I forgot a zone here. And then as well, camera yaw. Kind of fix that up there. So I'm just gonna go over to the water for a sec. Hit save. I already saw about 40,000 people in the city. It's just starting to get the feelers out right now, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully you guys have at least had a chance to try the 3D camera mod. It really just makes this game something it just has never been before. Having a way to experience, a different way to experience the game. After 20 plus years, any kind of a brand new first just blows people's socks off. Lots and lots of houses. Yeah, let's check the population. 66,000. Another one that's kind of missing some props. Zoned land by Frogface Gerverde Arms. 2,800 people living on a slab of concrete because the prop really didn't want to build. I apologize for that, but when you do zoning, anything grows, and it just kind of alerts me that I still need to do work. I put in turn lanes and slip lanes and things where I could. Obviously, things are a little bit busier around the station, so I made sure I added enough capacity. Even though this thing this acts as a bus stop, right? But I still put another bus stop there to help with any capacity issues, right? Like this is getting high at capacity, you won't need to go there. Yeah, my funding looks good. Safety and everything's going up. Traffic is starting to go down for the first time. Looks like I missed a spot here too. With all these diagonals and stuff, it's kind of tough to hit everything. Unless you start zooming in. It's a cool building. What's this one called? WTC Plop. World Trade Center? Maybe that was one of the designs or somewhere else. There's World Trade Centers outside of New York as well. I think Jakarta's got one, New Orleans has got one. Just what they call them. Lots of industrial growth. I don't really have a lot of industrial zones in this town, so good to see them getting utilized. I love the music from The Sims. All that Simish or whatever they called it was one of the first real uses in the game. Some of it translated to SimCity 4, like it or not. Like I think if you play as the police car, and you make them act, he'll shout on the loudspeaker Simish. And a few others as well. Like this area has next to nothing right now. Just some industrial areas. Oh, that's a real no car Zot. You know what, close to the overpass, we can just make this kind of grassy. Doesn't have to be perfect. No city is perfect. 100,000 people already. Starting to see some traffic as well. Nothing crazy yet. And a mix of everything, right? We got poor people apartments on some of the most attractive areas of the town, and then some rich people apartments closer to the freeway. Kind of seems a little weird, but again, I'm not the one who does the development. I just zone. Some of these will regrow later on too. Like this will develop first into low density or low wealth, and will grow a little bit later on. One little fact actually with the real highway mod, you can see here that I did a transition from the C network to the S network, or C means centered or center median or whatever, right? And then S means separated, so you can put in like a grass median. When you do that, you can also put in a transition in lane width. So I actually went from 5 lanes in each direction when it was separated to 4 when it's going normal, which is really cool. They put in the transitions for both the width and the number of lanes in the same kind of flex piece. It's not perfect. I mean, I use cosmetic pieces, so like I still have it. I wanted to get the dash line all the way over, and in order to do that, you need those actual puzzle pieces. And kind of the same here, right? Like if I wanted the dash line, those arrows are included in the transition, so I just kind of stuck in a couple larger arrows myself cosmetically. You can see they don't quite line up. Like one of them are like 1 pixel out, but yeah, it's a freeway of horses right now. It'll get developed and used later on because I got a big city I'm working on to the north as well. I'll obviously be showcasing it. Looks like we got some freight train use. Probably not a lot. Yeah, 26 units of cargo. $5.99 the bullet train, 15 here. And if you have the latest NAM, you can do slip lanes too. So just use the one-way road. When you have a diagonal meet an ortho like this, you can just kind of stick that in like that, and it'll form a nice little slip lane. Not good for pedestrians at all. They can call them pork chops sometimes as well, but it's good for use in the automotive world. $228. 228,000 people already. Got a little flea market next to a 30-story office building. As is tradition in SimCity, when you zone high density, it's any density. Whereas if you zone low density, it's oh yeah, here a drive-in theater next to a 30-40 story building. I love it. Obviously, this is the first growth of the zones, so I'm just taking a screenshot here. So the drive-in will obviously get replaced with something else a little later on. And for those that don't know as well, so I'm on cheetah speed, but the traffic's still moving at like normal speed. I prefer it that way, so that even when I'm paused, the traffic stops, right? The traffic would stop normally, but it moves at a normal speed no matter what. So to change that, it's in your little gear icon here. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's in your graphics setting here. There's a check mark called Variable Speed Automata, and if I click that, then at pause, everything's stuck, right? No cars move at all. I don't like that. I like to see movement when I'm zoning and stuff. Play button speed, it's just normal turtle speed. Things move a little bit faster at llama speed, and then if you want to see some craziness, go to max. But it's taxing on the system, I think. I just don't like it. things move too quick for, you know, the eye to trace. And but I guess if I ever want to develop like a huge pile of cars and like traffic or whatever, it could do that. But I typically don't play like that. It's just a little too wonky for me, so I'll go back to uncheck that. But that's basically where I go for it. And now you get the same consistent speed at all times. Good industrial area, coming up to 300,000 people too. But still just llamas on the highway. Look at them all. Maybe the north-south might get a little bit of use a little bit later on once things develop a bit more, but all the connecting ramps and stuff, no. Not yet. Here's another one that developed without zones. There's no description. Thank you. 6,600 people work at a blank tile. Completely blank. Oh, there's a newscast guy. I gotta go look into that a bit more. Maybe I downloaded a little too much and I didn't download all the dependencies, or maybe something was gutted when I was doing an install. Maybe I deleted something I didn't need to. Anyone using the ferry yet? No. I probably have to do that. It'll probably start working once I load adjacent cities, now that they know a ferry's here. I love that interconnectivity between cities. You gotta load the one city first, so that the other city knows that there's now a city next to it that has people and jobs and other things that you can trade if you wanted to trade, you know, power, water, garbage. But yeah, all quiet on the freeway so far. Interesting zone patterns here, right? Had to do something to fill in the spots between the diagonal and the highway there, the diagonal highway, and the diagonal bullet train too. So I left this area intentionally wild. There are a lot of diagonal buildings and plops you can download, but when it comes to actually zoning, it's still just straight. That could maybe change with some of the DLL work that's being done, the DILs. But for now, this is the way it is. A lot of promising stuff, right? I've got some DLL files that the NAM team's working on. I think it might be public now. If not, it's very close to being public. There's a game load time reducer that definitely reduced my times for loading the game from desktop, like to go to region view. That first start, I think that was like a 40% reduction for my game. When it comes to actually loading the city from a fresh start, like after you boot up your computer, the difference was negligible, but it was still something, right? Like a 3 or 4% increase or decrease. St. Helens, isn't that a default game building? I don't know. But yeah, let's just see how some of these roundabouts are doing, because they might be getting congested in a high-density city. But I've got subway stations and all that to help mitigate. Traffic's still doing okay. 354,000 people. Lots of room to grow. This might be one of the most traffic-clogged roads. I might have to either turn this into an avenue or Possibly build a different different overpass somewhere on the between the two. Just see, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It just looks bad. But I can always do the traffic data view. Yeah, it seems okay. Seems okay. There's some congestion up here. It's interesting. This is really the only road. There's a lot of high-density developments over here. This is the only way out. Maybe I would build, interesting. They did make it an avenue. Maybe that'd call for a new overpass or something here. I could get one of these buildings, build another connector somewhere. Maybe diagonally. Or I could just blow this up and turn it into an avenue the whole way up. Probably seems best. I'll just blow it up now. I'll just do it now. Do it live. Some people, Bill O'Reilly, whatever his name is. Yeah, those are going to get gutted, but whatever. I think these zones are pointed the wrong way. That happens every once in a while. But yeah, that should help a little bit with the traffic there. But obviously this is going to get a lot worse as the city develops. Was there a subway station over here either? Do they all have to drive? You got to provide alternate modes of transport, right? Yeah, I don't think there is anything. Hey, look, another brick. Nothing but bricks. I can put in a quick subway station here. It's never quick to load the underground view, though. I'll turn this to pause. My subway network's a mess. I'm almost ashamed to, well, that doesn't even connect, to put it, but I just basically put them all in with subways, like all the connections, to make sure I got it connected somewhere. Alright, we'll go back. Just takes a quick sec, even on pause mode. My subway station. I still use the default subway station. I don't know. I'm just so used to it. Same with the bus stop. Oh, where is it? There it is. And that should help. We added one more lane bro, and we also added an alternative transportation method. These areas, especially when you're zoning high density, you've basically got to have mass transit in some capacity. I play the simulator on low as well, the traffic simulator from the NAM, so that is a big challenge when you're doing dense cities. As the capacity of all your networks is low. Come on, you can come back. This partial view is kind of weird. I apologize for the loading time. It doesn't matter, for a lot of these things, doesn't matter how powerful of a computer you have. It's still at the mercy of using just 4 gigs of RAM and all the other things. I just thought putting it to pause. Okay, here we go. Finally, we're back. We're back. Give it a quick save while I'm thinking of it, because I don't want to lose all that progress. I know you're so used to. Here's a boat. Have a look at that boat. So if you want boats, build the marina that generates all the aquatic automata, but it's obviously not functional. It just looks nice. If you want stuff in the sky, right? You get helicopters from the hospitals. The deluxe police station. Some people were asking about a blimp on Reddit not long ago. You get that when you build the Major League Stadium, which in my opinion is one of the best looking Maxis buildings in the game. If you want some recreational aircraft, you can build a little landing strip. Maybe I'll do that in this town, maybe up in the hills. And you can do UDI videos there too. Yeah, I'll kind of go over here while I'm thinking of it. Probably won't look too good. This is just kind of like a service area, some rich person's house. I could build a little airstrip over here if I wanted to. Just because I never really do it. I never do it. Let's do it. And I think the little landing strip will often... It's going to get congested as hell because I don't have an airport right now. Oh no. This may not be a good idea. Business, as soon as you do this, I think you break the seal like for commercial captain ant. This is going to get overused very quickly with all the offices. And this guy's mansion, maybe he's just got a landing strip now. I haven't built one of these in years. That certainly is not level. Well, the strip is level, but you know, your approach, you've got a whole bunch of trees here and a big hill. Definitely not up to standard, but I'm not doing it for standard. I'm just doing it for tacky aircraft and stuff. There we go. So we'll see if that has any effect. That's still got a lot of capacity, I gotta say. I think I have an airport capacity mod. Maybe it's part of the NAM too. That gives you a lot more capacity. But currently, right now, and usually in order to upgrade, you can talk to your advisor. It sometimes comes, yeah, airport expansion. It's the only way to do it. This is how you upgrade from a small landing strip to a medium landing strip. You can see it's already being overused. I think the medium and large still give you the aircraft. But again, all the financial flyboys behind our airport are bucking to make it bigger. It's not bigger. They've got a case. The more flights, the better. Then it builds again. So that's what the medium the medium landing strip looked like if you've never seen it before. And then here is the large landing strip. It's not any bigger than the small one. It just has like another airport hangar and stuff. I think it just needs a second to load some capacity. Yeah, that strip is small. It's like, I think there's still a few airports in the world that even have runways that are not completely flat. I think to get like the closest one to, yeah, this actually has good capacity. To get to like Mount Everest or whatever, like only a few qualified pilots are even allowed to land there. The conditions have to be perfect. You can only use like a really old aircraft that can do short takeoff and landings. But yeah. Anyways, let's check out the town. Talking about airports so much. You got 500,000 people. Things are getting dense. Filling in nicely. Still some zones that still need to be developed. And there's an aircraft right there, so you can see them fly around. It's the only way to do it, which kind of sucks if you want to see that kind of thing in your city. Bit of repetition, but hey, I don't control it. What is this? Looks like we got some use on the highway now. The Vienna Towers, Japan. Stage 8, Vienna. I don't know what that is. Usually what happens is when I see the brown box, I'll copy it to like a notepad or write it down and then see if I can find it on a search engine somewhere. Looks like we got a few commuters. Yeah, not much. Oh, look at the zigzaggy pattern on the diagonals. Kind of fun. Let's check out some more graphs. Stats are cool. Mostly for traffic volume. I'm just curious to see how many people are driving. So, okay. So, you can see pedestrian actually overtook within the last game year that people are walking more than driving. It's like a big increase in the use of subways as well as probably as the roads filled up with capacity, they started using other forms of transport. Not a lot of people taking the bus, but that might pick up a bit in a bit. Pretty cool. Back to the data views if you're curious. Back to traffic. Things are getting a little congested in this area, but that's like the most built-up area. A little bit more over here. But I mean, it's a big city. It's gonna have traffic problems. No city is perfect. But I gotta figure out these stupid concrete pads. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, this is a cool intro there. This one's just a little house. Get rid of that too. It's gonna make my population go down a little bit, but whatever. Hope you guys are enjoying this and enjoying some commentary. I think I got a zone here. I know the frame rate's kind of tough to digest when I'm building a whole city from nothing. If I slowed it down a bit, frame rate's completely frozen as I'm trying to pick a forest here. I put 2 bus stops over here? What am I, crazy? I guess in each direction, a little bit of a transfer and a subway stop too. Bon Marché, Pearl Coast Hotel. I know I'm not doing any of those big series like building a city from scratch anymore, but I still like doing these kind of commentaries, and I'll be making a UDI video soon. I experimented the UDI videos with the 3D camera, and it's tough. Like, I can't get, especially at some of the lower angles, I can't get a good frame rate because things are rendering in the background, so not only is it a crap frame rate, but things are still rendering. If you want to see some 3D camera now that I'm thinking of it, we can. Camera. Yeah, let's do 25. Ah, don't crash on me! I'm screwing up. Everything, see how it's all got to re-render and stuff? I'm gonna go to a different area. Sometimes zoom out, zoom in. Not that much of a difference. It still causes everything to reorient. Camera pitch. 25? Woo! That one's okay. At the time of this video recording, the Boston Bruins beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs. I am actually a Vegas fan, but I am a sympathetic Leafs fan. And I think for the 5th time in a row, 6th time in a row, Boston beat Toronto. Hockey. I only follow hockey in the playoffs. Regular season, it's just not as exciting. They just don't play with enough, they still care, but they care way more playoffs actually mean something. I mostly follow NFL for sports. Again, it's only like a 17-week season, so every game matters. When you play 80 something games for NBA and NHL, it's each game that doesn't matter as much, and then you get to baseball. What do you play, like 160 games? Like 10 times as much as the NFL? Like, every game is... There's still meaning, but, you know, it's not meaningless. If you have a big rut, I guess, or a big win streak, that can add a lot to your series. But, yeah, I'll follow NFL. I'm a Los Angeles Rams fan. Mostly because when I was a kid, I thought they had the coolest logo on their helmets. They changed their logo recently. They won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. That was awesome as a fan. But they won it with their new helmets, their new uniform, and I don't think it's as good. I like the classic. They should go back. This tower looks kind of funky. You can see some advertisements and stuff as well. But the game was definitely not originally designed to look like it does here, but here it is. Especially with like a lot of the modders and stuff that made things. Like if this 3D camera mod came out a year after the game was released, like modders found it then, I'm sure a lot of the people who created these bats and lots would have done it in a way that they would look better in a 3D view. Like these are the Maxis ones, they look great. But then you get to something like this and it's just, that's a custom building and it just doesn't look as good. Some of them do. Like this is funky. This one looks fine. This one looks great. Alright, I'm getting a little confused as to where things are, so I'm going to reset the camera. Camera pitch. Camera. Yaw. If I can spell it right. Oh, don't crash on me, please! I'm going to go over to the ocean. Maybe give the game a quick save while I'm here. I'm always scared things will crash. And when you make a city that's still developing, like from nothing, things won't develop the same. If you have the game crash and then you start the simulation again from a previous save, some buildings won't develop in the same areas and your whole city will look different from what you remember the original growth to be. So, save often. I know it still takes some time, but it's important. You don't want to lose your progress. There's no quick save feature. I know some people have done some autosaves with the SC4 launcher and stuff. I just don't like it. I want that certainty. That thing's saved. Doesn't like the default camera angle now look a little weird? Oh, we got another crash. Don't know what developed here. This may have been from... Remember a building here? This may have been from like going to the 3D camera mod and going back. I don't know. Maybe not. Something probably blew up here. But it's sometimes nice to have a spot of free space anyway. Yeah, we had a crash. Closing in on 600,000 people now with lots of zones to develop. It's been, 50 minutes. I know I started the simulation, not the whole time, but... One of my videos I got to 1 million, I think. Or at least 500,000 plus. This one got to 500,000 plus. That looks kind of weird. Sometimes when you go from the 3D camera back to the regular, it makes some things look a little weird. Shadows and stuff too. Once things got constructed, the shadow view can obstruct or whatever. Do some screenshots. But yeah, hockey playoffs. The Vegas Golden Knights did lose. They were the defending Stanley Cup champions. So it's interesting how the teams I like, they've won recently. Right, the Rams won the Super Bowl. I'm also a Toronto Raptors fan. They won the NBA title not long ago. Then again, I'm a Blue Jays fan. They haven't won since the 90s for baseball. But yeah, I expected these roundabouts to be busy. Sorry with all the sports talk. Sports! I'm not a sports geek or junkie. I just will watch things when they won't come on. Except on Sundays when the NFL's on. Then that's basically my whole day because it's fun. When there's like 8 games on at once, 9, 10 games on at once sometimes. There's like a channel that will show them all. And they do their best to go between the feeds. It's called NFL Red Zone. I'm sure some people know what I'm talking about. That's so fun. It's just constant chaos. Ooh, I don't want to demolish that. I just want to demolish the little present here. Population growth's really gone down, but I don't think the simulator's going quick because I'm scrolling so much. Things still look good though. Check the volume counter. I might end the video soon. Looks like the city is pretty much built out. We're getting to an hour. Hope you guys had fun watching. Let's see what other things will develop before I'll do a final zoom out at the end. I'm just happy that the game has been stable enough. Hasn't crashed at all. Be featured in a UDI video coming soon. See if we can break 600,000. But yes, I will link the Centropolis globe thing in the description if anybody's curious. This area is pretty much filled in nicely now. This is a cool looking building. It gets fat and then it doesn't. What is this one called? Get some skinny. Karimako Hotel. This is another really tall one. Summit 08. Franklin Insurance. You'll probably see some more life in this town once I load some of the adjacent cities and then load this one again. Here's what that globe looks like with development around it. That here. You can get these gliders from the marina as well. with this development as well, my region is getting very close to hitting 50 million Sims. I think I was just broke 49 million before I started this city, so it'd be in the upper 49 million now. It'd be like 49,700,000-ish. So that'll be a big moment. Remember that drive-in? It was around here, I think. It's gone now. Take another quick pick. But yeah, it's exciting times in SimCity, especially with all the positive news with all the DLL files and all the negative news surrounding City Skylines 2, or what I like to call shitty Skylines. Then again, I call this game SimShitty, so it's not me ripping on it. It's just me thinking of that guy from South Park. The guy who runs the Chinese food restaurant, City Walk. Walk on a shitty walk, take your order, please. He's one of the best characters, in my opinion. Especially like a recurring character. I know he's definitely not one of the main ones, but the episodes he's in, he's interesting stereotype. But he has a personality of his own, right? He comes into his own in some episodes that are centered around him. There's one where he has to build the Great Wall of South Park to keep the Mongolians out for some reason. Then he fights against the Japanese as well. When the sushi restaurant opens up, they have like a battle between the two for sales. Lots and lots of like redevelopment here. We got cranes coming up. A little bit of an ASMR thing, just watching these buildings construct without me moving the camera too much. If my voice is annoying, you can always just mute. Yeah, more development to the left side of the view. Car crash at the big intersection. Can hardly see those roundabouts anymore either. I'll wait for this round of building to complete, and then I'll do a zoom out. Kind of end the video around an hour. $6.16. There we go. Looks like there's one more still building. Just gonna pause the simulation. Might reduce the chance of a crash as I zoom out a bit more. But you can see the city from this particular zoom. I think it grew very well. Still some bits to still be developed. Couple of no car zones. That's always annoying on the diagonal. Sometimes the zone you put in might split into smaller zones and then they won't have car access. I'll fix that later. Okay, I'm gonna do the big zoom out now. Just gonna go over to the water. Just give it a second to render. There's a lot going on here. But yeah, this is not a whole lot of land that's been developed. It's already home to almost 700,000 people. It might eventually creep up to about 1 mil. Still some room on this side as well. Last big zoom out here, you can see the whole thing. But yeah, with that, I'll end it here. Hope everybody enjoyed. I certainly did. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you back for the next one. Just wait for the rest of the thing to... I think it's done now. Yeah, so, yeah, that's my town, my new town, at the edge of a hill, between that and the water, and still some room up here to develop and stuff, too. Okay, guys, I'll end it there. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye.